Welcome back to another video. In the previous video, we learned about the sum of the advanced commands in the Linux operating system. Now we are going to start the C programming language. We will be starting the for function, and we learn about the for function. That what does it do? So let's start. So what is basically fork? Fork is a process. It's a function where a process creates a copy of itself. We use fork when it is required to do two tasks independently. At that scenario, we use fork function. So for fork, we declare a PID equals to fork, and if the PID of the fork is equal to 0, then the process will be the child process, and if the PID is greater than 0, then the process will be parent process. Otherwise, in the other conditions, when the PID becomes less than 0, it will declare an error. So let's try a simple program for fork, and let's try to compile and run it in the terminal in Linux operating system. I have written a code, a basic code for the fork in the text file, and I saved it as .c file. Let's save it again and open terminal. Remember, you have to download the GCC compiler in order to compile the C program. I have already installed it, so I am just typing the GCC and the file name. Press enter. So the file has been compiled. So for output, I have typed a.out. So it is giving the output that whether it is a parent process or whether it is a child process. Always remember, the parent process will always run before the child process. Moving further, let's comment it down. You can comment in C like this, slash and stack and slash stack. So the next program will be demonstrating in a loop. Let's save it. Let me clear the screen. GCC lab 4 .c a.out. So it is telling that the process was created by using a fork. I have used a function for fork and then printed the process that it was created by fork. It is the basic representation of fork function. Let's move further. This is another program for fork. In this program, I have declared a global variable 0, and in the main I have declared a local variable 0, and then I have created a child PID, and as you all know that child PID, child process, should be always equal to 0 in order to run, and then the parent process should always be greater than 0. So just like that, I have created a statement. The child process will be 0, then it will display the child process, and it will increment the global variable and also the local variable, and also it will print the child PID and also the parent PID after as I have declared a get PID function and get local and global variable function. Other than that, if the case is not, if the child PID is not 0 and if it is greater than 0, then the parent process will come in and it will run, and it will display the parent process ID and child process ID, and it will wait for a while, and after that it will print the parent's local PID and its global PID, and then the parent process says other than that, if if the fork gets less than 0, it will generate it as an error. It will display the error. So let's try to run it. I am also telling you a shortcut for saving time. You can just press arrow key, that will come back, that will display the previous command you have used, so it will take save time. So it is displaying the parent process and the child process with their respective PID and the global and local variables. So this was a easy program. Let's move further. So the last example of fork will be just like the other programs. It is a simple program in which I have declared a fork function and the random PID function, and random PID will be equal to 0, then the child process will run, and if it is greater than 0, then the parent process will follow up. Other than that, if the random PID gets less than 0, it will be an error. So let's try to run it. So the code is running, and in this scenario this is the parent process, and it is displaying the output that the process is parent. So you learned about the now you have learned about the basics of fork functions. So let's try an example, so that will clear your all. I have a question, that is write a C program that takes 10 integers from the user and call fork function. The parent process should calculate the sum and average, and the child process should find the maximum minimum value of among the all integers and then print them. So I have typed a command for it. Let's try to understand it. Included the libraries. I have included the libraries and declared a counter 0 that will in further increment, and in the main function I have declared a float variable average, an integer, and max and min. I am taking in 10 integers, so I have taken an array of 10. For that I have implemented for loop to enter the numbers that will be entered by the user. After that, after entering 10 numbers, the fork process will start, and then the parent process is always greater than 0. So as the parent process have to calculate average and sum, I have declared the sum and average variables above as mentioned, and the sum will calculate the sum, and the average will find the average of all the integers. Then it will print the parent process and the sum and average. After that, when PID is greater than 0, it will goes to the child process, where we have to find the maximum minimum number of among them. For maximum I have used a loop, and which will find the maximum number among them. Similarly for minimum number, then it will print the child process and the maximum minimum of the all among integers. Other than that, if the PID is less than 0, it will be an error. So let's compile it and see the result. So let's enter some random numbers. So the child process is displaying the maximum number, that is 10, that is correct, and the minimum number, that is 1, that is also correct. and the parent process will display the sum and average, which is also correct. So in this video we learned about the for program and for function. I hope you like this video. uh, See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring. Have a good day. Bye.